My dear brothers and sisters in Christ, I don't come to you today with speculation, theory, or emotional fluff dressed up to sound spiritual. This is not motivation. This is not motivational. This is revelation. A prophetic proclamation sealed by the authority of heaven. Hear me clearly, a door will open in 72 hours. Yes, you heard that right. Not a random door, not a man-made opportunity, but a divine door appointed by God, assigned to your journey, timed by eternity, and aligned with your obedience. This is not a nice thought to get you through the week. This is not spiritual entertainment. This is a summons. A divine alert that the God who governs time and space has issued a word over your life. And when God speaks, creation responds. When God speaks, hell panics. When God speaks, destinies begin to shift, atmospheres are stirred, timelines accelerate, and what was once delayed begins to move with divine momentum. Why? Because His word is not casual, it is creative. It doesn't sit idle like human conversation. It builds, it births, it brings dead things back to life. When God said, "Let there be light," darkness had no choice but to flee. When He told the sea to part, it split. When He said, "Lazarus, come forth," death had to let go. And now He's speaking to you. He's declaring something over your life right now. Something specific. Something time-sensitive. Something that carries the weight of divine certainty. A door will open in 72 hours. This is a moment of prophetic alignment, not passive observation. This is a moment where you don't just hear, you respond. You don't just listen, you prepare, because God is not silent in your season of struggle. He is not standing by watching you fumble in the dark. He is not ignoring the cries you prayed in the midnight hour. No, He speaks. He speaks to the storm. He speaks to the barren places. He speaks to the dry bones. He speaks to the hallway you've been stuck in. He speaks to the delay that's tried to break your faith. He speaks to the doors that have refused to open, and when He speaks, they must obey. He is not distant in your warfare. He is not absent in your confusion. He is not deaf to your groaning. He is a speaking God, and when He speaks, it is not wishful thinking. It is not potential. It is power in motion. So if you've heard even the faintest whisper in your spirit, it's coming. It's near. The door will open. Then your role is not to dissect it with your logic. Your job is not to run it past 10 people for confirmation. You don't need to wait until all the signs make sense. Your assignment is simple. Align. Not analyze. Not hesitate. Align. Come into agreement with the word. Not because you see it yet, but because He said it. And what God says is never empty. His word doesn't return void. It performs. It accomplishes. It manifests. Every syllable God utters is soaked in divine intent. He doesn't speak to fill the silence, He speaks to shape the season. So if God says a door will open in 72 hours, you are not waiting on heaven. Heaven is waiting on you, on your posture, on your obedience, on your faith. Because there are moments in your life where timing collides with destiny. Where eternity leans in close. Where heaven begins to stir the wind in your direction, and you feel it deep in your spirit. Something is moving. This is one of those moments. Don't be casual with this word. Don't treat it like a quote to post online and forget by noon. This word is a call to action. A divine notification that something supernatural is already in motion. And hear me, no man can close the door God opens. Not the boss who said no. Not the rejection letter. Not the people who overlooked you. Not the devil who's been whispering lies in your ear. No opposition, no system, no principality has the authority to override God's command. When God says yes, hell can scream no all it wants, but the door still opens. Let this settle in your spirit. You don't need their approval to walk into what God has already spoken. You don't need everything to look right. You don't need the full picture. All you need is the word, because the word is enough. God never told Noah to wait until he saw clouds. He said build the ark because rain was coming. And Noah about because of evidence, but because of instruction. And now, God is telling you the rain is coming. The shift is coming. The door is about to swing open. And you don't have time to be passive. He said 72 hours. Heaven has marked it. And the only question left is, will you be ready when the door opens? So I declare this over your life. No more delay. No more doubt. No more drifting. You will align. You will obey. You will posture yourself like the promise is already in motion. Because it is. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He doesn't speak and then hope it works out. He declares the end from the beginning, and if he said, a door will open, then it's already done in the spirit, you're just walking into it, so don't get stuck trying to figure it out. Just align. Just believe. Just obey. God said it, and that settles it. We wrestle with time. We race it. We try to manage it, manipulate it, even command it. But no matter how much we try, time always seems just out of reach. We're either rushing ahead of God or dragging our feet behind Him. We cry out, God, when? Why not now? Why is it taking so long? But beloved, hear this truth with your spirit wide open. Divine timing is not on your clock. It never was. It never will be. God is not wearing your wristwatch. He does not operate on your calendar. He is not influenced by the deadlines you've created for yourself or the expectations others have placed on your life. He is the author of time, not its servant. We live in a microwave generation that wants crockpot results. We want instant success, immediate breakthrough, overnight transformation. We equate speed with favor, delay with punishment. But in the kingdom of God, delay is not denial, delay is design. A slow season does not mean a silent God. A waiting room is often a training ground. You see, God's timing isn't based on urgency, it's based on readiness. And that readiness isn't about circumstances, it's about you. Your posture, your maturity, your ability to carry the weight of what you've prayed for without breaking under it. Heaven's schedule has already been activated. The door is not being carved out as you wait. It's already framed, already fashioned, already finished. But God is not just preparing the place, He's preparing the person. That person is you. You're not waiting on God to make the way. You're waiting on your soul, your mind, your emotions, your will to sync with what has already been released. God is not behind. He is not scrambling to put the pieces together. He is inviting you into alignment with a divine timeline you cannot see but must trust. When God told Abraham, I will make you a father of many nations, that word was not just a promise, it was a process. It wasn't just about giving Abraham a child. It was about shaping him into the kind of man who could steward a legacy. Years passed, no child, no clear sign, just a word, just a covenant, just the voice of God echoing in the silence. But here's what you must understand. The word God spoke over Abraham was pregnant with divine timing. It carried with it a holy sequence. It required transformation, not just expectation. Abraham had to walk with God long enough to be formed, not just blessed. To become the kind of man who wouldn't just father Isaac but who would become the father of faith. That's what God is after in you. So let me ask you gently but truthfully, if the door hasn't opened yet, is it possible that it's not because it's locked but because you're not yet ready? Is it possible that you're praying for access, but heaven is waiting for alignment? God isn't cruel. He's not dangling destiny in front of you like a carrot. He's protecting you. Because a door opened too soon can become a trap rather than a testimony. It can crush you rather than crown you. God doesn't just open doors, He builds warriors. Men and women who don't just walk through the door but stand on the other side with integrity, endurance, and faith. He is not preparing you for a moment. He's preparing you for a mantle. And mantles require weight, and weight requires strength. And strength is only forged in the fire of divine timing. You see, divine timing is God's love disguised as patience. He waits not because He's late, but because He knows exactly what's on the other side of that door, and He refuses to let you walk into something that your character cannot sustain. Some of us are begging God for elevation, but elevation without formation leads to collapse. You don't build skyscrapers on sand. You don't step into legacy on shallow faith. That's why you've been in this season. That's why the delay. That's why the silence. Because He's deepening your roots before He elevates your fruit. He's enlarging your capacity. He's strengthening your discernment. He's purging your motives. He's teaching you how to trust Him when nothing makes sense, because that's how faith is formed. God doesn't just want you to arrive, He wants you to endure. He wants you to stand when the applause fades, to stay faithful when the spotlight shifts, to lead with humility, to walk in obedience even when it costs you something. That's what the delay is doing. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Not rejection but refining. Not distance but design. So no. Divine timing is not based on the clock on your wall. It's based on the eternal agenda of the one who sees the end from the beginning. You see a moment, God sees the whole picture. You see a closed door, God sees what's behind it, who will be impacted by it, and what it will demand of you once you step through it. And because He loves you too much to let a blessing destroy you, He waits. Not to frustrate you, but to form you, not to punish you, but to position you, so the next time you're tempted to ask, why is it taking so long? Ask instead, what is God forming in me? What is He sharpening, shifting, stretching in me, so that I don't just enter the promise, I thrive in it, because when the door opens, and it will open, you'll be able to say with full confidence, I didn't just wait for the blessing, I became the kind of person who could carry it well. This is the wisdom of divine timing. It's not about control. It's about trust, and if God said the door will open in 72 hours, then it will. Not 1 second too early. Not 1 second too late. Exactly when you and I are ready, so let go of the clock. Lay down your deadlines. Silence the panic. And come into alignment with God's perfect timing. Because when the door opens, you'll be ready. Not rushed, not shaken, but rooted, and, in that moment, you'll know it was worth the wait. Because divine timing always is. You think you've been delayed. You look around and wonder, why not yet? You pray, fast, seek, and still no door, no shift, no sign. But let me speak truth to your spirit. This is not delay, this is development. You haven't been forgotten. You've been forged. God hasn't ignored you. He's investing in you. What feels like a pause is actually a process. He's not punishing you, He's positioning you. Positioning you to carry what you've been called to hold. Positioning you to endure what's coming on the other side of the breakthrough. Because elevation without preparation is a setup for collapse, and your Father loves you too much to let the weight of your future crush the version of you that wasn't ready to carry it. That ache you feel, that tension in the waiting. That's refinement. It's heaven's pruning shears, cutting off what can't grow with you, stripping away what can't walk with you through the door. You're not being stalled or being shaped. There are things that had to be broken off before breakthrough could be handed over. Toxic mindsets, fearful patterns, destructive relationships, unhealed wounds, secret insecurities. God saw what you couldn't. He knew what would sabotage your next if it wasn't dealt with in your now. You can't carry yesterday's fear into tomorrow's favor. You can't step into new territory dragging the baggage of old seasons. You can't possess the promise while still entertaining what God told you to leave behind, and so He delays, not out of cruelty, but out of kindness. Not to withhold, but to ready you. You've asked for access, but God is building your foundation. You want the open door, He wants a rooted heart. He's not in a rush to impress you with speed. He's after sustainability, not spotlight. Don't despise the cave, don't curse the quiet place. That hidden space where no one sees you. That's where He's making you. That's where oil is being pressed. That's where identity is being formed. Look at David, anointed in secret. Assigned to solitude. Rejected by people. Hunted by kings. Hidden in caves. He didn't meet destiny with applause. He met it with scars, and those scars became his strength. So if you're bleeding in the wait, if you're stretching in the dark, if you're crying and wondering, God, what's taking so long? Just know, He's building the version of you who can carry the weight of what's next without breaking under it. The delay is divine. Let it do its work. You're not stuck. You're being strengthened. Make no mistake, hell has heard the sound. Heaven has made the announcement. The trumpet has blown in the spirit, and the enemy is trembling. A divine shift is in motion. A door is nearing its opening. An assignment is about to be fulfilled. And that's why the resistance is intensifying. That's why the pressure in your mind, in your emotions, and even in your relationships has increased. It's not random. It's not coincidental. It's confirmation. The enemy doesn't waste energy on neutral threats. He doesn't fight empty vessels. He only rises up when something anointed, something strategic, something pregnant with purpose is about to break through. So if your sleep has been restless, if your thoughts feel like a battlefield, if discouragement has knocked at your door and fear has tried to wrap itself around your heart, don't panic. Don't retreat. Don't let your spirit grow weary. This isn't just warfare, it's a warning to hell that you're close. It's the enemy's last stand before you step into the territory that he's tried to keep you from for years, because the door is real, and the devil knows it. He sees the alignment. He senses the shift. He can't close what God has commanded open, but he will do everything in his arsenal to convince you not to walk through it. This is his strategy. If he can't stop the door, he'll try to stop you. If he can't cancel the promise, he'll try to cloud your perspective. He'll flood your mind with fear. He'll flood your life with distractions. He'll magnify every delay, stir up every insecurity, and whisper lies that sound like truth. But this is not the time to entertain confusion. This is not the season to grow passive. This is the time to press in like never before. The warfare is not your cue to quit. It's your call to push. Think of Nehemiah building walls in the face of mockery, threats, and sabotage. The work was holy, but it was also hostile. So what did he do? He picked up bricks in one hand and a sword in the other. He refused to stop building, but he also refused to stop fighting. That's your posture right now. Build in battle, praise, and prepare. Stay on your wall. Stay in your assignment. Keep moving, even through the resistance. Because open doors don't come without opposition. Breakthroughs are born in the middle of battles. The enemy knows your yes is dangerous. He knows your obedience carries weight. He knows that if you walk through this door, destinies shift, bloodlines are restored, and generational cycles are broken. So of course, he's attacking. But remember this, his attack is a reaction to what God has already put in motion. He's not ahead, he's behind, so don't let pressure convince you that you're failing. Pressure is often the greatest indicator that you are standing at the threshold of something holy. Don't let the heat of the battle cause you to miss the fact that you're inches away from breakthrough. Let me remind you, Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness right after heaven opened and the Father declared, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." And what happened next? The devil came. Because identity provokes opposition. Destiny draws warfare. Anointed assignments attract demonic interference. But notice the Spirit led him there. Because sometimes God doesn't remove the battle. He trains you in it. He teaches you how to wield your sword while still walking forward. He builds your spiritual stamina in the fire so that when the door swings open, you're not just hopefully or battle-tested. This is not about comfort. This is about calling. And the enemy wants nothing more than to make you question what you've already heard from God. But now is not the time to shrink. Now is the time to stir your faith and fight for your future. Because the door you're about to walk through isn't ordinary. It's strategic. It's sacred. It's saturated in generational purpose. And it's surrounded by resistance for that very reason. So armor up, get low in prayer. Raise your sword in worship. Declare the word over your life until every lie bows to truth. You're not being attacked because you're off track. You're being attacked because you're on time. The enemy sees that your feet are aligned with heaven's calendar, and he's terrified that you're about to step into the fullness of what God has spoken. Let this warfare be your confirmation. You are close, so close. And if you don't give up now, if you don't bow to fear, if you don't retreat from the pressure, you'll walk through that door and realize that every battle was worth it. Every tear, every late-night prayer, every moment of confusion. Because what's on the other side isn't just a blessing, it's a mantle, a new level of glory, a new level of authority, a divine assignment that hell tried to cancel, but heaven has already cleared. Hold the line. You're at the threshold. Don't quit now. Let's tell the truth. Obedience is the currency of heaven. You can pray until your voice is hoarse. You can fast until your body aches. You can prophesy with eloquence and conviction. But if you don't obey, you will miss the moment. Because obedience is the access code. It's the divine key that turns prophetic promise into fulfilled reality. It's not optional. It's not negotiable. It's not something you feel your way into. Obedience isn't emotional, it's intentional. It's not about understanding, it's about trust. It's not about control, it's about surrender. God doesn't always explain himself. He gives instructions, not explanations. He speaks, and your only job is to respond. That's where many miss it. We want details before we move. We want blueprints before we build. We want guarantees before we obey. But God is not in the business of making deals. He's in the business of building disciples. Look at Abraham. He didn't receive a fully mapped out destiny. He got a simple word. Go. No map. No directions. No confirmation texts from heaven. Just a command. And he moved. That was obedience? Not obedience with full clarity. Not obedience with comfort. Just raw, rugged, real time, yes. And because of that one act of obedience, a covenant was birthed that would outlive him for generations. Look at Peter. After a long, exhausting night of catching nothing, Jesus tells him, "Cast your net again, this time on the other side." Now, Peter could have reasoned. He could have argued. He could have said, "Lord, I'm the fisherman here. These waters are empty." But instead, he responded with the most powerful phrase in obedience history, "Nevertheless, at your word." And when that net hit the water, something shifted. Overflow was activated not because Peter had a better technique, but because Peter had better submission. Sometimes your breakthrough isn't waiting on a better plan. It's waiting on a better posture. It's waiting on a surrendered heart that says, God, I don't get it, I don't see it, but I'll move, because you said so. Obedience isn't about being ready, because here's the truth. Readiness is a myth. The enemy will keep you in a cycle of preparation so long that you'll never actually move. He'll whisper lies like, you're not ready, you need more time, you need more confirmation, and before you know it, you're sitting outside the door that God already opened, paralyzed by fear, shackled by overthinking. But listen to this. God doesn't ask for readiness, He asks for responsiveness. He doesn't wait for you to feel qualified. He qualifies those who respond with obedience. Obedience isn't safe. It's not cute. It doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it looks like walking away from a good opportunity because heaven said, that's not your door. Sometimes it looks like forgiving someone who hurt you deeply because the word says, let it go. Sometimes it looks like sowing your last seed, taking a risk, showing up when you'd rather hide. Obedience is sacrificial. It stretches your comfort. It confronts your pride. It demands that you choose His will over your way, His timing over your schedule, His voice over your logic. And let's be clear, delayed obedience is disobedience in slow motion. It's a subtle rebellion dressed in hesitation. It's disobedience dressed in spiritual procrastination. How many doors have we missed, not because God didn't open them, but because we didn't walk through them? There is a moment when heaven shifts, a divine window, a Kairos moment when God says, now. And in that moment, the only right response is yes, Lord. That yes may cost you comfort. It may cost you relationships. It may even cost you understanding. But it will always be worth it, because every time you obey, you step into alignment, and alignment creates acceleration. You don't have to beg for the blessing when you're walking in obedience. Obedience attracts heaven's flow. It creates divine momentum. It positions you to receive what you've been praying for without striving. You don't have to kick down the door. You just have to walk through it when it opens. But the door won't wait forever. There is a grace on moments and anointing on timing, and obedience is what tells heaven, I'm ready. So don't sit on your yes. Don't bury your instruction under a pile of excuses. Don't wait for ideal conditions or perfect peace. Move. Even if it costs you. Even if it stretches you. Even if your knees are trembling while you walk. Because obedience is the bridge between the word God spoke and the world you're about to walk into. He's already spoken. He's already scheduled the opening. The only question is, will you obey? Beloved, heaven has not whispered a vague hope. God did not murmur, maybe. He did not say, someday soon. He said 72 hours. 72 sacred hours. Not a suggestion, not a metaphor, not a motivational phrase, but a divine countdown from the throne room of glory. A window has been issued by heaven's authority, and it is swinging wide before you now. This is not ordinary time. This is consecrated time, holy, appointed, weighty with destiny. The King of Glory has called forth a shift, and the earth is groaning. In agreement, the angels are already on assignment. The wind is shifting. The oil is flowing. The atmosphere is pregnant with movement. Now, it's your turn. You must choose. Will you walk through it? Because this is not simply an opportunity, this is a summons. This is not a casual open door, this is a divine invitation to cross over. To step into acceleration, transformation, and holy alignment. You've prayed for breakthrough. You've cried for clarity. You've waited for confirmation. And now heaven has answered. This is your window, but hear me clearly. The door will not stay open forever. Windows open for moments. Kairos time is not casual time. There is an expiration on divine moments when faith must meet movement, or favor will pass you by. God has moved. Now it's your move. When He says go, delay is dangerous. When He says move, hesitation is costly. When He says now, logic must bow and fear must die. This is the moment to obey without delay. To respond without needing more signs. To walk forward with trembling knees if necessary, because faith is not about feelings. Faith is about movement. Don't wait for the door to knock, it's already open. Don't wait for more evidence. The word was already spoken. Don't delay because of fear. Courage is simply choosing to move scared. The divine instruction is clear. When the whisper comes, respond. When the tug in your spirit stirs, follow. When the confirmation hits your soul like thunder, act like it's already done. This is the time to do what obedience looks like for you. Clean the house if the Spirit says prepare your dwelling. Send the email if God says reconnect. Make the call if he whispers, restore what's broken. Pack the bag if he declares your season is shifting. Sow the seed if he prompts plant into your next. Apply in faith if the Spirit says claim the open door. Show up in boldness if he says the room is already yours. Because when the divine window opens, you will not have time to second guess. You won't have the luxury of sorting through opinions, analyzing outcomes, or waiting for better conditions. You will only have time to walk by faith, not sight. You will only have time to say, "Yes, Lord," and step forward into what your Spirit already knows is yours. This moment is not about readiness. It's about obedience. It's about alignment. It's about saying, "I trust you more than I trust my comfort." You've circled this mountain long enough. You've lingered in the hallway of almost for too long. You've waited at the edge of destiny, staring at the door like it's a question mark. But it's not a question, it's a command. And here's the beauty. God is not guessing. He is declaring. He's not speculating on your future. He's aligning it. He's not hoping it works out. He's orchestrating every step, every moment, every encounter to bring you into your set place. He is watching now, not with a skeptical eye, but with a father's heart. He's watching to see who believes him enough to move when he speaks, to act when he prompts, to step without sight, to walk like the word is already finished because in the Spirit, it is. There's something holy happening in the unseen. Something sacred moving behind the veil. And the door is not just symbolic, it is literal in the Spirit. It is real. It is open. And it is waiting for your obedience. This is the hour to shake off delay, to silence doubt, to bury fear, to silence the enemy's lies and walk like you heard the voice of the Lord because you did. In the next 72 hours, some will watch, but some will walk. Some will question, but some will cross over. Some will hesitate, and others will harvest. And what separates them will not be favor, it will be faith. What separates them will not be calling, it will be courage to obey. So what will you do? The door has swung open. The window is here. 72 hours. And heaven is watching for your yes, now walk.